his struggles. Now, my question is, Bwana Gakuya, and we've questioned the involvement of members of the public in the legislative process. We've even questioned the involvement of professional bodies like the Law Society, which is one of the most vocal on this issue right now, the Union of Journalists and others, which I may not mention now. But we're seeing a lot of uproar late after this process has gone to the extent it has, and they've even gone to court. There's a petition filed by the High Court challenging the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment Act, which was signed into law last week. Even the former Chief Justice questioning the same. We've not even heard the political parties talk about this. You're among the most vocal and you have a lot of space in the public forum. Does it mean that you, as a member of the National Assembly, agree with everything that is in that act? And do you see yourself as having failed in any way in the passing of that?
Thank you, Edimuli. One, let me try to put a light on that process of having a law. The law, the bill might emanate from an individual member of parliament, or it might come from the government. And once it comes to the floor of the House, it first steps to the Speaker's office. And when it comes to the floor, then the Speaker first gives the mandate of that particular bill to the committee that is under that particular department, if the bill belongs to a particular ministry or it comes from a particular angle, because every single bill must be linked to a particular committee. And that committee has a duty to scrutinize the bill, including taking the bill to the public participation. And at that particular time, that's why when errors came, anybody else should scrutinize the bill to the end and present to that committee the views that they would wish that particular bill to go. So, after that particular public participation, the committee writes a report and it tables to the floor of the House. And after that, then it is taken to what we call a committee stage. At a committee stage is when any member of the House might come in with amendments. And that is where the bill can be amended, those clauses that are that have teething issues. And that is the time when the bill is fully, because people at that point in time, they are persuading of maybe a particular amendment that can be quashed from that floor through persuasion. And let me tell you, at the tail end, the tradition of the House is a vote. Whether it's an amendment clause, it's a vote. So that vote, if the majority are yes, then it passes. If it's nay, it flops. And that's how it works. And you have no business of, you cannot go to appeal bill that unless you move now back to public, where this particular bill has come from. What I believe, and that's what happened, is that majority of what the public interest is given a room, unless a committee is biased. But it is given a room. And does not, most of the desires of the public are given a room. But does that not mean a member cannot come in to amend anything, even that has given a nod by public? He can bring that amendment of a proposal given by a member of the public at that committee stage. Was the level of conversation on this particular bill, the Cybercrimes Act, which is now an act, do you feel it was robust enough, given the kind of uproar that we are seeing after? What I can tell you, Edimuli, is this. The bill has passed the threshold of the process because it has gone every stage that it requires to be. Whether there are clauses that are still have teething issues, because I cannot stand here to say I'm comfortable with it. But
did you voice your concerns?
I did.
And it's on record that you voiced your concerns?
Of course, yes. But I can tell you, after vote, then the majority takes the floor. And how it works, whether Kenyanjui is in the floor of the House or not, the vote must take place. And the vote will decide where that particular amendment will be. Either it will flop or it will sail through. And after that, then the bill has no choice. At the end of the day, that reading is read, and after that, the bill is closed, and it moved to the head of state.
Do you think the broad-based working arrangement contributed to the passing of this bill in any way?
What I can say is that, in fact, that is why there is a strong fight to control the House. Because controlling the House, you're controlling the numbers. And there is no single government which can survive without numbers in the House, because such a bill will flop. So there has to be a protection, and the protection is by numbers. And that is why even a vote is numbers. These numbers, they are based on that broad-based system. Okay. And they have a majority, must go their way. Okay. And that's how it works.
You seem to disagree with that. I've seen you shaking your head.
Whether Sabina may disagree or not, I can tell you for sure.
It is a broad
how it happens. No. Yes. And let me tell you, one might be having his own opinion, but let me tell you, the feeling of the floor, if you can check the floor during the voting, you can be able to read the numbers where they are heading to.
Right. That voting purely at the end of the day, despite the debate, the voting is purely down to the broad-based arrangement.
The voting gives a final verdict.
Yes.
But what I want to say is that I've been a chair of one education and then health. Before, we have had even communications coming from the president. And when we look at maybe even proposals, and I would say like even proposals of appointments, I am on record that we have rejected some of them, and with advice to the president saying this one doesn't meet the threshold because of 1, 2, 3. It is possible for members of parliament to express their views. And all I want to say is this. This specific law that has, because now it's a law that has been passed or was signed by the president, even after the parliament approving it and parliament voting for it, if there was a big issue, even a body like Law Society of Kenya could have even written directly to the president and say, do not, though parliament has passed this, do not assent to this bill, because then it was still a bill, because of 1, 2, 3, and 4. What we have had as a society is that we react. And the big question I was even asking myself, do we have positives in this law? Yes, we do. This is a law that came, it's not a law that came maybe the year 2024, 2025 that has been passed by Parliament. It has, there were amendments that started, some of them from 2018, all the way to new amendments that came in 2024. And maybe the biggest loophole we can find in this law is because some of the maybe terminologies that have been introduced are a bit vague. So are we supposed to be complaining or asking ourselves, how long does it take for a law to be amended? Because amending a law, if, for instance, a specific body feels that we need to amend this law, and maybe some of the terminologies that are there, maybe a body or the government can take advantage. If there are the issues about maybe the SIM swap, with the intention of committing fraud, by the time this body or passes that, yes, there was intention of committing a fraud, then there should be a clear trail of how the intention was. You see, if you're talking about websites, if you're talking about now Kenyan government being able to even collaborate with international bodies, because a lot of even content that comes in, and I can tell you, I don't want to name them here, there are specific websites that would write something that I have said, and they put it like verbatively, they'll put my photo, and they say, this is what Sabina said. And for sure, I did not say that. And it becomes very hard to even convince anyone that I didn't say it, because it is my photo, because words have been there. Maybe Kenyanjui has not been a victim. It happens to all of us. But when you follow up, you're told this website is not even in Kenya. It's not even hosted here. It's somebody else who is controlling when they are outside Kenya. These things have happened. They have affected all of us. So let's look at how can we be able to amend what is not right. But we cannot just say the entire law is not good. As I've said, there was enough time for participation. It is sad that Kenyanjui will say that there's a website and maybe people are not able to reach out or to find out what was in the website. But a lot of these bills, like this one, I would have expected the people who have had an interest. There are also people who have access. The people who use a lot of digitalization or websites and everything else, they have this access. So let us also not just be complaining and blaming everything like to these members of parliament that they don't think or they are just passing this for the sake because they have been lobbied. That is not really the truth. The truth is there was a law, there is a need, and there was a specific need for this law, the cybercrime law, so that we can be, because we are moving to digital economy. Almost everything else is going to digital economy. I remember when the Huduma number came in, still people went to court, and there was always this issue about the security, about the privacy, and about all these issues that are brought up. But look at the developed countries, even for the health sector, and what Wakili was trying to maybe delve into about this NHIF and the SHA and the SHI, whatever is happening with them with the SHIF, we might not totally blame it. Yes, NHIF, I was a chair. We did the final amendment of NHIF before the other parliament. When this parliament came in, there was a bit of some rush to now move into SHA and SHIF. Given the issues that were happening within NHIF, maybe everything that was suggested by NHIF may not have been picked up, but there are several things that were borrowed from NHIF. But again, remember, what was the need of the SHA and SHIF? Okay. Moving to the digital, and now that we have a lot of even exposure that is happening, that you can be able to track and trace. I can sit on my desk and I can tell this hospital has been paid this amount of money, and that is now where you realize that a hospital maybe that only has a bed capacity of 20 was being paid by NHIF a bed capacity of 100 or 200. Then we are able to expose these things. So it is important that as we criticize, we also give a suggestion on a way forward. That will be really how we can be able to help Kenyans.
Let's get the
but as long as we keep on inciting and saying it's draconians, these MPs are passing laws for themselves, let me tell you, I'll not be an MP forever.
Okay.
And I'm also affected by this thing. I've said, personally, I've been affected.
Yes.
If today you look, you go in and look for the Facebook and see my the many accounts that I have an account that is verified. But people will call me, Mheshimiwa, you are giving loans. I say, surely. I've been called. We have been called that you are giving loans. I say, surely, that is not even my verified pay. They don't know.
There's definitely necessity.
There is necessity
for these laws.
There is.
But, okay, fine, now.
And then suggest, then what do we need us to amend?
Is not perfect.
Well,
yes?
I have to.
What options do we have now apart from going to court?
What is the? They passed a law, the Data Protection Act. They passed that law how many years back? 6 years back.